Good morning, everyone. We'll call this the April 6th, 2021 meeting of the Oshkosh Committee on Aging meeting to order. A little bit of etiquette. Please limit the background activity and noise as much as possible. Mute and unmute yourselves in a timely fashion. Anne is not able to unmute and remute everyone, so at the time that we need to do votes or anything or roll call, I'll ask everybody to unmute, and then as you respond, remute yourself. Stay muted when you're not speaking. If you've got a question or a comment, please wave your hand so that somebody can alert me. No side conversations should be in the chat box, only the official meeting business. And for the benefit of Bobby, identify yourself before speaking. So everybody please unmute, and Bobby's going to call the roll.
Oh, sorry. Ashton. Heidi Bassford-Kirchhoff.
Here.
Julie Kiefer.
Here.
Julie Davids. Ron Durkop.
Here.
Lindsay Temple.
Here.
Julie Maslowski's excused. Judy Ritchie.
Here.
Deb Allison Osby.
Here.
And Jean Wallerman.
Here.
6 present, 1 excused, 2 absent.
Then we'll move forward with the approval of the March minutes. They were emailed to everyone. Are there any additions or corrections? If not, I'll take a motion to approve. Deb? Okay. And is there a second? You were the, okay.
That was a second.
Okay, who was the first one?
You.
No, I was asking for a motion.
Oh.
So you're the first. Is there a second to it?
Second.
Okay, Julie Kiefer. Okay, everyone unmute. And Julie called, Bobby call the roll, please.
Heidi Bassford-Kirchhoff.
Aye.
Julie Kiefer.
Yes.
Ron Durkop.
Yes.
Lindsay Temple.
Yes.
Judy Ritchie.
Yes.
Deb Allison Osby.
Aye.
Carried 6.
Okay. Everyone can remute. Citizen statements. Did you receive any, Bobby? No? Okay. And was there any public comment for the agenda items? Okay, again, no. So with that, Ron, would you like to introduce our speaker?
Okay. Well, we've been looking forward to getting a speaker from the ADRC to give us a good tour of their updated and new and improved ADRC website. That's Aging and Disability Resource Center of Winnebago County website, as well as their online resource directory. They have a wonderful publication that's distributed all over the county every year. And there's also an online version that is kept up to date moment to moment, if you will. And it's a great tool. And we're looking forward to having a kind of a slow-mo tour so people who are well, us as committee members, as well as those who would be watching, will be able to actually go online and utilize that tool to its best advantage. So we have with us this morning Larissa Grunwald. She's a disability benefit specialist, and she helped create the new updated website. And let's see, we have another person from the ADRC too, that perhaps maybe Larissa, you could introduce her and her role. Okay, thank you.
Hi, I'm Larissa. Again, I'm a disability benefit specialist with the ADRC. I've been with the ADRC for 3.5 years. I've been with the county for 9.5. And then on this call, we have Bryn Seaman. And then I apologize, I don't quite know Corinna yet. Since we're in and out of the office yet, we haven't formally met. So I'll probably let Bryn introduce Corinna.
Hi, good morning. Yes, I'm sorry for joining just a little late. It takes me a while to fire up my work computer here at the office, but Corinna joined our team at the EDRC on March 29th, and her position is a brand new position to the Aging and Disability Resource Center. She is an EDRC assistant specially designed to help support some of our APS clients that through COVID, we've identified are in need of more short-term case management. Caregiver strain has been at an all-time high. So in those cases, Corinna is going to be specially skilled and trained to help provide resources. And again, it's kind of a new position, so she'll also help us craft some of her responsibilities along the way to help our Adult Protective Services staff. Corinna, would you like to share anything about yourself? No? Okay.
All right, thanks, Bryn. So I think I have to be given permission to screen share from the host. I don't quite know how WebEx works, but
the permission to share is given. So you should be able to just hit the share button.
okay. Let's see here.
Where's Corinna? There. Yep.
All right. Okay. So, let's see. So this is our homepage. You can get to it by going to the Winnebago County website and then just searching for the ADRC, or you can go to winnebagocounty.wi.us/ADRC, and it'll get you there as well. And then on our homepage, we try and keep it up to date as we can, and then we put our most pertinent updates right here. So our first the first red tab is going to be the information on the age-friendly community status that Oshkosh and surrounding communities recently received from AARP. And Bryn, does that also include that survey? It does. Okay. So that would be, I believe, a recording from the Facebook Live and YouTube Live event that was done, and then the information on what the age-friendly community actually means. And then we often will have, or since last year, we've had information on what our office is doing for COVID right front and center, so that people understand how we are able to serve them right now. And right now we are seeing people in office on a limited scale, but our offices are open. Staff are in and out, working from home and working from the office, so it's always best to call ahead and see where your worker is going to be. So last year at this time, when we were all homebound and trying to figure out where we were going next and what we could do during this time, was when Melissa Sell, our INA that usually I think attends these meetings, she headed up this committee. She saw the need to revamp and update the website to make it much more user-friendly, because people are going to be on the internet more. They're not going to call, they're not going to walk in because they can't. So she brought together 4 other ADRC members, all different departments, and together we went through every single tab, every single article, every single issue on the website piece by piece and updated it, deleted, moved, trying to make things much more user-friendly and logical, I think, was the big thing, that we tried to put things where it made a little bit more sense. So on the left side of the screen is our driver flow. So these are the main topics that we think people are looking for. First would be meeting our team, and this will go through all of our different positions, from our INAs, our new dementia care. Dementia care specialist is new to Winnebago County. We've had one for about 2 years now, I think. And they serve that population specifically, whether that's helping them get services in the home, helping the family get services, and just being kind of that one-point contact for people with memory issues specifically. I should have started with the biggest thing that Melissa and Bryn accomplished is that the entire website can be translated in any number of different languages. And that was something that was very important to us, that anyone can go to the website and have it translated into their language. You do need to be using Google Chrome, but otherwise you can enter your language in up by select your language, and the entire website will translate for you, so you're not trying to go back and forth. The next I'm trying to go off of Melissa's notes here. The next tab that is most important is going to be our resource directory. And I think that's what everyone is most proud of, whether it's our paper copy or it's the online copy. So our paper copy is right here. You can see it in a PDF form. If you would like the actual catalog, all you have to do is give the ADRC a call, and we can get you one, we can get you a box. And those are printed and updated once a year. I think they come out in the fall with up-to-date information at that time. But phone numbers change constantly. Resources change constantly. So this resource directory is kept up to date on our website right here. And then there are any number of ways that you can search for information. You can look into specifically adult resources, or new to the website are child resources, because our children's long-term care facility or specialists are housed up in the ADRC as well. So we thought that that was important, that a lot of those services are crossover. So you can also find those here. If you have something specific that you're looking for, you can search by keyword, by subject, or a specific service. So if we search by keyword, we can look for transportation. Oops, can't see today. Transportation services. If I can spell, that would be great. And then it comes up with anything that we have entered into our resource directory that has to do with transportation. So it could be public transportation if you're looking for bus lines. It could be metavan transportation. And it could also be AdvoCap that provides transportation to people who might not have access to the bus line, or who may not have access to medical MA transportation. And then if you find specifically what you're looking for, you were looking for the phone number for A&J, you can print this specifically, which is a fun. You would just deselect all the buttons. I mean, you could print the entire thing, but you use the deselect button, and then you just want to print the A&J information, and then that's all. Then you can print just that page and you'll get this information. The nice part about the online info is that we can have a little bit more information or description on each service. When it's in print, it is, you only have this much space. So we can have a little bit more detail when we're online. Any questions with the resource directory thus far? Okay, so the next tab that we spent a lot of time on was the event calendar. So if you look at the event calendar, today's meeting is on the calendar, and Melissa and our dementia care specialist is now Elisa, but Melissa and Elisa, and then our administrative staff, they take a lot of time to make sure that there are public events as well on this calendar. So if people are just on our website and they happen to click on the calendar, they can see that there is a farmer's market. The farmer's market has started, and you can choose that option and it'll open up the information about the farmer's market. So it's not necessarily just aging or disability specific, but other community events too that we think are important that people are aware of. So if you have a public event, we can definitely take a look and see if that would be something that would fit well on our calendar. But the dementia care specialist also puts most of her presentations or events on this calendar as well. So right now, her memory cafes are all virtual. They're all by Zoom. But hopefully in the near future, she'll be able to do those again in person. But they're all listed here, whether that's Nina or Menasha. She tries to keep them all on the calendar. And then the next, I think the other tab that we would be most proud of would be our resource library. This is something that we spent a lot of time on. Like I said, we went through and we touched every single article that was on our website, and we touched every single website that was linked and made sure that they were all up to date, that the information in the articles was up to date. If it wasn't, we deleted them and tried to replace it with something more appropriate. Or if it just wasn't pertinent anymore, we got rid of it completely. So the resource library is more information that you can utilize for services, or if you're looking for just more articles or information on how to care for your loved ones or yourself. The big one right now is tax assistance. People are calling the ADRC asking where they can get help with their taxes. So we try and keep that as up to date as possible as well. And then employment services, volunteer opportunities, home care services. We try and keep that as up to date as we can, because names are always changing, service providers are always changing. So as we are made aware, we can update those as well. Any questions?
Larissa, this is Bryn. I would also just point out that under that resource library is where I go to, because I'm not as knowledgeable as our information and assistance staff or EDRC specialists. So if somebody has a question about, hey, how could I get free or reduced cost internet service or phone service, that also is a very kind of hot topic, especially through COVID, and I've used that resource myself several times. One other thing, and I don't want to screw you up, so if you haven't done it, Larissa, don't do it now. It's probably not a good time to experiment. But in the upper right-hand corner, as we're viewing the website, there is a text size. So if this seems small to you as you're logging on, you are welcome to obviously minimize or enlarge the font options.
Oh, right here. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Larissa, this is Ron. I've got a question. The resource library versus the resource directory. Now, there'll be some overlap or similarities, I assume, between the two. If you went to, say, home care and did a search for home care in the resource directory, much of what you're seeing on the resource library would also come up. Would that be accurate?
Yep. Yep, there's lots of overlap. So it's kind of a no wrong door. If you're looking for a piece of information and you go to the library versus the directory, you're still going to get to the same information. So if we look at home care, there's not necessarily a definition, but maybe a description of what we think home care is. And then what the different titles are: agency provider, private provider, what the differences are between the two. And then the directory is going to start more with the service providers themselves and give the actual contact information. The library is going to help you understand what those different providers are. but it'll get you to the same place.
Good, thank you. That helps.
Mhm. Okay. And then the last piece that I should have started with, but on the right side is our contact information, our hours, our email address, best phone number, fax number, and we do have 2 locations. We have our main office in Oshkosh, and then there is also the Neenah office as well that houses a elder benefit specialist and 4 information and assistance specialists, and then 1 adult protective services worker as well. But same team, same jobs, just the 2 different locations serving north versus south of the county. And then our Facebook page is something that I have recently taken over as the previous worker has retired. One would think I would be a little bit more savvy with Facebook, but I'm not. But if you do click on the Facebook icon, that'll bring you to the ADRC Facebook page. If anyone has not already checked it out and liked it, please do so if you would like to, or if you're on Facebook. And we try and keep that up to date, and a lot of the information right now is regarding COVID that we're sharing. Lots of information on food pantries or food banks, kind of what's going on in the community. The age-friendly community information has been posted there a couple different times now. I will put the new survey up today with the new numbers, but we try and keep the information as county specific as we can, and how we can help the people in this area, whether it's someone who is aging or disabled, or their loved ones or their caregivers. Any questions on the website? Otherwise, I think that's it. I certainly can go through more examples of the resource, playing with the resource directory if anyone would like.
This is Ron again, Larissa. I think it would be helpful to use maybe a couple of different searches. You searched by, I think, keyword before.
Oh,
To
sure.
try, like search by, I think there's subject, and the print is small here. Subject, and there's a third one.
Let's see if, does that make it bigger for
I think
everybody?
it's my screen, not yours.
Yeah. So by search by subject,
Okay.
it brings up, so I clicked on search by subject, and then it brings up a list of topics. So we can look at financial and income supports. And then more specifically, what are you looking for? We're looking for energy assistance. And then that brings us to all of the agencies that will support you in your energy assistance needs. So first one up is AdvoCap, and then Energy Services. And if you are specifically looking for energy assistance through Energy Services, you can use the click print this program option, or you can click on Energy Services and it'll bring you to their website. And then whether you're applying online or you're checking your eligibility, it'll bring you the information that you were looking for. And if we look at AdvoCap, same thing, it'll bring you to all of their contact information. Lisa is the contact person for energy assistance, specifically at AdvoCap. But again, if you click on their name, it'll bring you to their website. And then if
Can I
we
share?
look, oh,
No, I'm sorry. I was just going to jump in, Larissa. This is Bryn. As you click on the search for services, I was just going to offer that the use of the website has certainly expanded, as well as social media and just the awareness of folks in the community of what the Aging and Disability Resource Center is, that it exists, that it's a place. But also, it's also changed some of the ways we are doing our outreach, not just virtual, which is fairly obvious, but a way we didn't expect was with our Adult Protective Services staff also being housed within this division, we are now getting more referrals via email. So I just wanted to highlight that that is an okay and appropriate way to do that. We do have confidential email service that is triaged each business morning by our reception staff, and we would certainly get that to the appropriate place.
yep, and that is over on the right side under our contact information. And it does have the two email addresses for Oshkosh versus Neenah, but it is the same address. It'll go to the same reception staff. And then if we look then by services, we could do in-home. Oh, that's not. So search for services is a little bit trickier in that it's going to bring up anything in that has an I in it. So we won't go too far into that. But I typically use using the keyword. That's my favorite. Oops. That's my favorite use when I need to go to the resource directory. I look under keyword because I usually know that I have some piece of information, but now I need contact information, or I need more specific definition. So I utilize keyword quite a bit, and then go from there, whether that keyword is dementia care or memory care, transportation, Medicaid. So just utilizing the keyword is my favorite.
We also have a group that works monthly now on our ADRC newsletter. That is a newer offer that we're able to give through the ADRC. Again, more dedicated time and just more motivated staff who are able to put that together. Right now, it currently is either mailed to a handful of people, but more emailed to over 300 to 400 different individuals or entities. So if you don't receive a newsletter and you would like to, just reach out to Larissa or myself or a member of the Oshkosh Committee on Aging who will get you in touch with me, and we'll make sure to add you to the list.
Yep, and those are all offered in PDF form. You can see that we do archive them as well. So you can go back if you know that there was an article or if someone tells you that there was a piece of information from a couple months back, you can go and find those.
There are no more questions. I'd like to thank you for this. The website is so much better than when it started. It's so much easier to find things and to explain to people. So it's great. And we certainly, out in the public, appreciate it.
Good, thank you.
And we'll make sure to share the information as far as we can. So, okay, well, thank you very much. Moving on, do we have any old business to be carried over? Okay. If not, new business. And Bryn, I'm going to ask you to step in, and Jean also. Just a real quick overview of the age-friendly community survey. And we've been talking about it off and on for a long time. So just to lead people in the direction of the survey.
You can go ahead, Bryn.
You fill in the gaps because I know that I'll miss, so please feel free to just share. So Age Friendly Initiative is something that I would say even started before my time here. I've only been with the ADRC for about a year and a half, and it's my understanding AARP was able to share about how age-friendly communities not only offer services and enhance community and connectivity to those older adult populations, but is good for every age. Intergenerational services, intergenerational connections, really. Neighbors looking out for neighbors. And when our agency, Winnebago County Human Services, identified this as something we wanted to achieve, I just by happenstance noticed that this was also an initiative of the Oshkosh Age Friendly Committee on Aging. So Jean was the person that the touch point for that topic and area of interest, and kind of tracked her down and asked if we could collaborate on this initiative because it is a lot of work. And I know that the more people are involved, the more successful it will be. So with that, I'd say it's been about a year. We were able to complete quite a bit of research in what currently exists within the city of Oshkosh and beyond. So this is for Neenah Menasha, Winneconne, Onroe, all throughout Winnebago County. And what we were able to do is complete the application to AARP within that work group, and we were able to also secure support from our current elected official, the Oshkosh City Mayor, Lori, who we really appreciate her support in this endeavor. And we since were added to the statewide network. We're the 7th community. And this happened at a time in late 2020 when we had a presidential election. It was right before the holidays and we were amidst the pandemic. So the timeline kind of got put on hold because we wanted to make sure that there was some good focus on this initiative. And since then, in early 2021, we've been able to now promote it. I myself have been doing several different presentations with libraries and senior centers, YMCAs, faith-based organizations throughout human services and the EDRC and so many more, just so that there is some knowledge about what this means to our community. And it would have been, I forget the date, March, I think it was March 19th, we had our official press release and Facebook Live and YouTube event. And that really was the launch of the survey, which will be open until at least April 14th. The purpose of the survey is to have an inclusive and as far represented, reaching many different graphics in those ages 45 and older, to give us some insight into how they feel about their home, their community, their connectedness, their neighbors, services, so that we're able to craft a strategic plan. It's a 5-year plan and the time has already started, so we're into it a little bit. But Jean, myself, and other members of the work group will have metrics based on the surveys and goals, working toward goals that have been identified by the survey. So the survey link can be found in many different locations, right in the press release on our website, which is what Larissa had just shared. I was also able to secure permission from the county executive to have it listed on our Winnebago County website. So on the home site, you'll see that as one of the links right in the middle of the home screen. And then we've also secured many partners who are helping to push out the website. So the YMCA, for example, may be sharing it on their Facebook page. A library may be not only assisting folks in completing the survey if they need help, but we'll be sharing information about it. Obviously, our partnership with Oshkosh Senior Center is enormous. They too are able to offer some support and some information on the topic.
We also have the link. We were just sharing the link on the screen, thanks to Ann. Does anybody in our group have any questions for either Jean or Bryn?
This is Sue. I have a question. So pretty much the older person would have to have access to a computer and be able to use a computer to fill out the survey in their home. Is that correct?
Ideally, we do want them done electronically because the idea of having to manually enter a bunch of surveys not only is a task, but it also provides room for error, and we don't want there to be errors. So to answer your question, ideally, yes, we want people completing them electronically, but we fully recognize some folks are not comfortable. So there are paper copies that are available. I know that there's some at different assisted livings that have contacted me sharing that their residents wanted to do them in paper format. I know that the Oshkosh Senior Center has some, and certainly folks who call the EDRC can get a paper copy.
Okay. Yeah, because some of my older friends are, not very good with the computer. And, even if they try, they get very frustrated. So, even with encouragement, without, a younger, one of their kids or somebody helping them, they just want to give up. They just don't want to try. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, soon I do have some paper copies here. So if you do want to stop by and pick some up,
okay.
hand out.
Yeah, that might be good. Thanks.
Well, thank you, and we will keep promoting it. Moving on, some information and discussion regarding April's National Healthcare Decision Month. Ron, I know you've got lots of goodies.
Okay, I got a few. And Ann, if you can put up the screen shots for me, I'd appreciate it. This is April, and it's the National Healthcare Decisions Month. In fact, April 16th is the specific National Healthcare Decisions Day. And just while she's working on that, statistics on completed healthcare power of attorney documents. This is nationally, about 1 in 3, you'll see it there on the screen now, 1 in 3 adults have completed their healthcare power of attorney document. That's been pretty static for a long time, that 1 in 3 adults are actually completing powers of attorney for healthcare. In the Fox Valley, about 45% of those 65 and older have completed them. And that's a plus. We're working in the right direction. And however, in the Fox Valley, less than 20% of those age 18 to 64 have completed a healthcare power of attorney document. So imagine that you're in an accident, or you get sick and cannot make healthcare decisions for yourself. Who would make those decisions for you? Would they know what your wishes are? And have you completed the legal documents that's required in Wisconsin for someone else to act in your behalf? The Fox Valley Advanced Care Planning Partnership, we had on our last month's program, is sponsoring free community classes to assist people to complete their power of attorney for healthcare. It's held on the second Wednesday of each month from 1 to 2:45 at Mercy Ascension or Ascension Mercy Hospital. And you need to register online. That might be a problem for some people, but I think if they were to contact the Fox Valley Advanced Care Planning Partnership, they would assist them with doing that if they did not have access to a computer. Otherwise, registering online at healthcareascension.ascension.org/events will get you there. Another great source is the source we're hearing from regularly from the ADRC of Winnebago County. They will assist people in completing their power of attorney for healthcare document. And you simply can call the ADRC at 877-886-2372, and they'll be happy to help you, won't they, Bryn? People are encouraged to commit to get their healthcare power of attorney document completed. And some additional information that would be very helpful to people to take advantage of in this next week. If we could go to the next slide. This is being sponsored by Let's Talk Fox Valley, which is sponsored by the Fox Valley Advanced Care Planning Partnership. And this is in honor of National Healthcare Decisions Day. The first event, and it's coming, is going to be held on April 12th. And these are all Zoom events. So again, access to a computer is appropriate and necessary. The first one is being held on Monday. That's April 12th, 5 p.m. And it's called Let's Talk with Elder Law Attorney Ben Adams. And it has to do with planning ahead for your care. Should include an advanced care planning for lifetime decision-making, creating valid documents, learning about legal strategies that will benefit you and your loved ones. And so they're encouraging people to join them for a riveting conversation with elder law attorney Ben Adams. And it's a free advice from attorney. And must be having trouble getting that up on the screen, so it'll be a little easier for people to see. But then on Tuesday, April 13th at 5 p.m., these are all at 5 p.m., Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. On Tuesday, the event will be Let's Talk with Palliative Care Physicians and founder of Palliative Care Network of Wisconsin, Dr. Tim Jessic. And that has to do with care during a serious illness and at the end of life must be personalized and support your wishes. Learn about why empowering you and your loved ones' own health care is really critical. And ask questions you've been pondering. So it's going to be a give and take. Join us for an informative discussion with palliative care doctor and founder of Palliative Care Network of Wisconsin, Tim Jessic, and another free event, this time advice from a doctor. And then Wednesday, April 14th, these are all at 5 p.m. again. Let's Talk with Senior Director at the American Cancer Society, Kim Kinner. And chances are you or a loved one know of someone affected by cancer. Advanced care planning during and after cancer care is really critical. In this talk, hear about how to empower patients, caregivers, and family voices in care choices with the Senior Director at the American Cancer Society, Kim Kinner. And then finally on Thursday, April 15th at 5 p.m. again, let's talk with an expert on hospice care and end-of-life decisions. This is with Kimberly Paul. Talking about death and dying is hard, but these conversations can change lives. Kimberly Paul, who happens to be a creative director of the Death by Design podcast. She's a TEDx speaker, vice president of communications and marketing. She brings her expertise in hospice care to support those facing decisions about end-of-life care. And you'll not want to miss this conversation. And again, free advice from an expert in hospice care and end-of-life decisions. To register for these events, I found the easiest way to do that is just to search Fox Valley Advanced Care Planning Partnership, Appleton, and right on their webpage then there's a National Healthcare Decisions Day is April 16th banned, and you click on that and it'll take you right to all the information I just shared, as well as giving you the links to actually register for the various Zoom events. And you can register for one or two or all of them all at the same time. So because of the coloring, some of that's not coming through real great. But you'll see where it says register for this event. There's another http:// or // I should say bit.ly/ these are capital NHDD 2021 is another way to get to their website. But I found it's quickest, easiest to go to just search Fox Valley Advanced Care Planning Partnership, Appleton, and then click on the National Healthcare Decision Day is April 16th link. Encourage people to follow up. This is a good time to take care of that advanced care directive that you've been putting off year after year, like many people do. So you'll be glad to have it done.
Not only will you be glad to have it done, the good thing is that you need to do is review on a regular basis. And I'm a prime example. I had updated mine when my husband passed away 7 years ago or whatever it was. Updated it at the time I retired 4 years ago. And my most recent one was actually in December after I'd had a bout with COVID. How much things had changed in all those years. So it's really important to keep reviewing. So
Yeah.
Thank you, Ron. Does anybody have any other comments on that?
Yes, I'd just like to say that several years ago, I was working with a couple and the wife was quite ill. And the husband was in pretty good shape, but they were elderly. And I brought this up, that it would be a good time to look at the future and what do they want? What are their plans? And they got really upset with me, really upset. So it was about a month before I went to visit him again. And by the time I went to visit again, they had some time to think about this. And they actually started, then they thought it was a good idea. But initially, they were very turned off by it. They just needed some time to think about it. And then after a while, they thought, this probably is a good idea. So.
I guess one more important point to note, in addition to what Sue just shared, is that if people don't take care of getting a power of attorney in advance of needing it, they may end up going through the guardianship process, which is a court process where you're determined to be mentally incompetent, and a guardian is appointed, and sometimes that guardian is not the person you would have picked to make your decisions for you. And of course, you've not been able to express to this guardian what your wishes are. So it's a very difficult process, an expensive process, and you want to avoid that if you can. And one of the ways to avoid that is taking advanced care directive action and trying to avoid the need for any guardianship in the future.
Other comments? Okay, then moving on under other business. Deb, you wanted to talk to the group?
I sure did. I just wanted to say thank you so much to the group. I was trying to think how many years I've been the council liaison for the Committee on Aging. And obviously it looks way different now than it did. And I wish, we could talk to Julie Hurt, Lurton. I'm trying to think of some of the absolutely amazing people that were on the Committee on Aging board at that time. And, to think that we were contemplating dismantling the group and, and blending in. And so thankful for the support of the council, who was willing to, take some of our budget from the budget process at that time and put towards strategic planning, because there was just amazing intellectual property that was within the group. And I knew that it could really grow into something that would be so educational and so informative for the public, because we often talk about the youth in our community, and sometimes I don't think we talk enough about how much experience and wisdom there is within our aging population and what the need is there as well. And so for those board members that went through that process and that journey and that ride, and where we are at now, and all of the speakers that have come forward, especially in the last 2 years, has far exceeded my expectations. And I would be remiss not to say a huge shout out and thank you to the City of Oshkosh staff, Ray Maurer and Jean and Bobby and Ann and everyone else. There's no way this group would exist without the support of the city staff, and I want to recognize them as well. So it's been an awesome ride, and thank you. If there's anything I can ever do for you, please let me know. But I will always be supporting all of you moving forward, and just wish you all the very, very best of luck, and best of everything.
Well, thank you for the kind words, and certainly we appreciate the support that we've had. I'm one of the few. Julie Masalski is not on today, but we're part of that strategic planning. How much change there's been in the committee in that time. The new, well, Jean, you're sitting there shaking. Shaking your head. I mean, that was a struggle going through that strategic plan and coming up with some consensus, and we've deviated from it some, but it really helped to redirect from where we had been, and has really placed us in a much better, even with everything that's gone on, a much better world. So
yeah, it's a real eye-opening is either to be, out and about or at the grocery store or somewhere and hear of somebody that has caught, sometimes it's on the replay on TV and said, oh my gosh, we didn't know that service was available for our parents. We didn't know this was available. Thank you for sharing, especially the things regarding fraud that come about that could take advantage of our vulnerable. And so it just makes me really proud. And like I said, it certainly, nobody can ever do anything alone. And if it wasn't for all of you, it just wouldn't be the success that it is. And again, kudos back to the staff as well. Love you guys, and you guys are going to be awesome.
And moving forward, you as a private citizen can certainly apply to be on the committee, to be appointed. As we're speaking about openings, have some members who have chosen not to be reappointed because of changes in their life. So we're going to have some more openings. There's the application form on the city website under boards and commissions. And so we'll have a couple of openings, regular openings on the committee, as well as the 2 alternates. So if people are interested, if you know somebody that's interested, please ask them to apply, because we need the knowledge, we need the different perspectives that are out there in the community. So
Also, thank you, Deb, for your time too. The commitment that you had with the committee. Thank you.
You are very welcome.
And I do have to thank her, because I always knew where to find her. She knew where to find me too. We had a very good working relationship, and hopefully that continues. So, okay, on that note, our next meeting will be May 4th. And Sue's been very good at getting us a speaker on personal response systems, as what is known to a lot of people as Lifeline. And something that we highly encourage. And so we'll have some nice information with that. So with that, we will have a motion for adjournment and a second. Someone want to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So I'll second.
Okay. Everybody unmute, and Bobby, call the roll for that, please.
Sue Ashton,
Yes.
Eddie Basford Kirkhoff,
Aye.
Julie Kiefer,
Yes.
Ron Durkop,
Yes.
Lindsay Temple, Judy Ritchie,
Yes.
Deb Ellison Osby.
Aye.
Motion to adjourn the meeting at 9:01, carried 6.
Okay, thank you, everyone. We'll see you next month.